So I said to her, that's not how you skin a cat. This is how you skin a cat. Oh, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to AnthSOLOgy, the show for, oops, now we're a solo act because of COVID-19. And maybe we like it that way. I'm Dr. Jessica HEBERT. My pronouns are she and her. I'm from the PDX Broadsides. I'm also Portland's favorite placentrix, and probably yours too. How many people do you know who can say that? Not many. I'm just saying. I am very excited to have this 5th episode of AnthSOLOgy where we've got some amazing performers. We've had 15 amazing performers, including today, and I know that you are all really excited to get going. So, first up, over here on my left, is it mirrored? I don't know anymore. To the left of me, whichever direction that happens to be, from upstate New York, she is the fairy princess of Filk, just an amazing singer and songwriter, Alyssa Yeager of Rhiannon's Lark. Hello, darling, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Do you have things to say about your music that you want the internet to know?
The internet?
Yeah.
Sure. So I actually started out, I am a music therapist, and the first album that I recorded is an all-original children's album, which was inspired by kids that I was working with at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital in Cleveland, Ohio, and went from there to a mostly pagan festivals band, and then went from there to my primarily solo project of Rhiannon's Lark, which has a bit more of a nerdy bent to it.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I've heard both your more Celtic side and also your nerd side, and I'm glad that you embrace both of those, and I'm excited to hear what you're bringing to us today. Next up, down in the corner, all the way from Chicago, where they are having tornadoes and drama, it's Gundo. Hello, Gundo. Welcome to AnthSOLOgy.
I'm actually glad I was able to make it, given the fact we had had 2 power failures in the last hour, and I was trying to decide whether I was going to stay upstairs or hunker downstairs. But I've got a trampoline now, if anybody wants it.
Blew in from it. Did it land on a witch on its way through?
Not unless you call the minivan a witch, but no, I think my wife would disagree with that.
I mean, my favorite thing about tornadoes is the free shoes. We all need another set. And finally, last but not least, all the way from England, give a warm cheerio to Thomas Benjamin Wilde Esquire. Hi, Tom!
Hi, I'm on mute. I was just on mute just then. And I've just decided to make an adjustment to my camera last minute as well. Hello! Thomas Benjamin Wilde Esquire here. Yes. Uke-toting, tweed-clad, generally troubadour from Bedford, England. 55 miles north of London. It's the same town that John Oliver's from.
Oh!
But I don't know him. So I've never met him. So it's not really a claim to fame, but...
Can I have you all do me a favor and crank the gain on your mics? For some reason, we started the broadcast and everybody got real soft.
Okay, let me just see if I can whack this up on
all
here.
three of
Does
you
that
need to
bring it up
be
any more
louder.
at all? Does
Crank that
sound
great
all right?
gain.
Can you hear that any
Problem
better?
of talking versus singing.
Zoom tries to be too
Adjusting.
helpful.
Can you hear that any better?
You're about the same, but you are
About
better.
the same. Okay.
Huh.
Let me see what I can do. Just have to stick that up. How's that?
That's a little better.
Okay. I just realise I'm peaking quite massively if I go too high.
Okay, don't go too high.
So, and then you can hear the ferrets in the background as well, banging on the cage. Home.
Gundo, did you crank up a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Alyssa?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Just, they're still quieter. Just sing out the best you can, because I don't know what's...
Isn't it?
Yeah. Live troubleshooting does make it exciting. That is fact. Let's try that. Okay. Welcome to the show. So the joy of AnthSOLOgy is that it's always weird. Internet's always weird, but we figure it out as we go. Today we had to switch from Discord to Zoom like 5 minutes before we went. It's magic. It's the magic of the internet. So as those of you who have joined us before know the drill, these performers have been assigned numbers between 1 and 6. They don't know what they are. I do. And you, the audience, get to start by picking a number between 1 and 6, which corresponds to one of our fabulous performers, and that's how we're going to start. We enjoy chaos. So type a number between 1 and 6 in the box, and we will get going. So other than crazy weather and internet outages, Alyssa, are you having crazy things in New York right now?
No, we're having beautiful weather. It's been in the 80s all week, which is crazy because we had snow about 10 days ago.
Oh my goodness.
I'm enjoying it. I'm also sweating a little bit in the wig, but that's small things.
Lovely weather over here. We've had lovely hot weather. It's been quite windy today, but we've been able to go out for nice big country walks, which has been lovely.
Yeah, getting a little air and, responsibly with 6 feet of distance in between you and the next walker.
Absolutely.
So we got a 2 in the box. It was the first number to come out from Sonny Larson, and it's appropriate because number 2 is Gundo. So Gundo, you'll be opening the show for us today. Hooray, hooray. Gundo from Chicago. Other performers, please mute your mics while Gundo's performing. Gundo, tell us a little bit about what you're going to play and get us started off right.
Okay, well, this is an original. It's actually, if you don't mind, I'm recording a solo album in the middle of all of this. I was hoping to get it out by conflict of next year, but since my producer can't come up within 6 feet of me, even if we both soak ourselves in scotch, it's kind of on hold at the moment. But we're trying to figure out some ways to do some recording remotely, and we'll see what we can do. So. It's 6 o'clock, the clock goes off, and I ain't ready to get out of bed. Not enough sleep, and I can't face the awful day ahead. The sky is dark, the world is cold, and everyone hates me. The shower's cold, my body's froze. Please just let me be. What's that smell? It might save me from hell. I've got my show, and I can face a new day. I'm ready to go. I can handle whatever comes my way. Yeah, I'm one of those people that needs the coffee to actually make the coffee. I'm here at work, my boss is a jerk. I'm on meeting number 3. The food is gone, the man goes on, and all that's left is weak iced tea. My project sucked, don't give up, and I wish this all would end. If I don't get some sweet relief, I'm going to go around the bend. What's that smell? It might save me from hell. I've got my Joe, and I can face a new day. I'm ready to go. I can handle whatever comes my way. I've got my Joe, and I can face a new day. I'm ready to go. I can handle whatever comes my way. I can handle whatever comes my way. I can handle whatever comes my way.
Yay!
Great stuff.
And I think
Excellent.
traditionally I get to pick the next number. Is that it?
You will, but first, They're not audience questions for you yet, but there will be audience questions. So you have described yourself as kind of an everyman, and that makes that last song that you just did really appropriate. Like, whatever comes your way, like, you are on it. You play everything with everyone. So tell us a little bit about some of the bands you're with, and you had an interesting start. Like, how are you now the everyman?
I got started in music. A friend of mine bought me a harmonica at a fair in Hyderabad, India. I found out later it was an F sharp, so no wonder people were glaring at me whenever I tried to play it with other people. Didn't understand keys at the time. Picked up bass when I was 14, guitar when I was 17, because I got tired of people saying, well, he plays guitar, but it's only a bass. Never understood that. And basically, I've kind of really done backup most of my life. So I play in a jazz trio, a couple bands, Toyboat and Random Fractions. Tend to, again, play all the instruments in both bands. In studio, not on stage at the moment, and not at the same time.
So the first time I ever saw you live, you were playing for Sonny Larson's album release party, and Sonny Larson was on episode 1 of AnthSOLOgy. When we're done, go watch it. It's great. And you had such a great presence, and you were just sort of everywhere on the stage. So I don't believe for a second that you only back up, you only play all the things in studio, unless you mean just like right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's absolutely how it winds up working out. I mean, I've actually tried to figure out if I could do a one-man band thing where I play drums with one foot, bass with one foot, and then guitar, and see if I could pull it off. I think my neighbor is calling to tell me something is wrong with my house. I will actually need to pick a number and duck.
Okay, would you like Alyssa or Tom to go next? You get to choose a performer.
I'm going to flip a pick and find out.
Okay.
It's Tom.
It's Tom! All right, please go make sure that your house is secured to its foundations. And in the meantime, Thomas Benjamin Wilde, Esquire. Are you are you officially Esquire?
No. It was a fancy name I stuck at the... Basically, I had to decide on a stage name very quickly.
Oh.
So my real name is Tom Wilde, and my real middle name is Benjamin. I thought Thomas sounded a little bit more...
Yeah.
That's the right gesture for it. And Esquire sounded posh as well. What I've come to discover is in the US that actually means people are a lawyer. I didn't realise that. It's Esquire, just somebody who has a university degree, I think, over here.
Huh.
Back in olden days of yore. But yes, it just sounded quite nice. And so I announced myself as that the first time I went on stage hosting an event. And yeah, that's how it stuck, really.
Stage names have a way of finding you versus you finding them. Like, you have great grand plans, you're gonna name yourself something cool, and then you walk out on stage and they're like, coming to the mic, it's Pork Chop, and the next thing you know, like, that's your name.
Half the time it's people announcing you wrong as well. One of the biggest issues I've ever had with any band I've been in is trying to name the band.
Right?
Trying to name a band has always been the hardest part, I find. You can have songs, all of that kind of stuff, but the biggest disagreements come when you're trying to name yourselves. And it's quite nice that I'm performing by myself now, so I can make those decisions.
Noted. So you have a song for us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this song? And
Okay, so this first one, I've decided I'm going to play this one without the backing track, first of all. So this is a song I wrote after a rather frustrating work meeting. I'm a part-time college lecturer. And yeah, it just kind of dawned to me that we go to a lot of pointless meetings, and they very easily could just be information that's put you in an email. Okay, so this song is called Could You Really Not Just Put This in an Email? And I'm just going to take my headphones off for this. In fact, can you hear me okay? Brilliant. I'm going to take this off because I'm getting some delay through this, and that's kind of distracting. So I'm going to go without the headphones on. So give me a sec. Okay, so this is, could you really not just put this in an email? We broke our backs to get here, and you didn't say for what. You said this was important, but it seems that it is not. You were rather vague on what this small liaison would entail, but could you really not just put this in an email? Have we down tools and brushed over at the mere drop of a hat to satisfy your urge to have a cozy little chat? Or full of pointless questioning but lacking in detail? Could you really not just put this in an email? Could you really not just put this in an email? Could you really not just put this in an email? Was it for the sense of drama that you called us to attend? Somebody here is definitely not winning any friends. I'm sick of staying after hours and early morning starts, of lengthy lunchtime lectures staring gormlessly at charts. Being forced to rush my sandwich goes too far beyond the pale. Could you really not just put this in an email? The sense of self-importance that these merry meetings bring won't justify the training sessions where nobody learns a thing. We'd like to ditch the role plays and the meetings face-to-face in favour of sitting at our desks, cruising at our own sweet pace. If this is what it takes to keep the top brass satisfied, tell them all of this box-ticking leaves one feeling dead inside, and we do not need a hookup to discuss the paper trail. Could you really not just put this in an email? When you called us all together during a busy working week, were you surprised at the eye rolling when you stepped forward to speak? It's a sign of the disdain behind a thin and flimsy veil. Could you really not just put this in an email? Was the presentation needed just to keep us all on side? Was anybody actually listening or just reading from the slides? All the unrealistic targets were all set up to fail. Could you really not just put them in an email? Could you really not just put them in an email? Could you really not just put them in an email? Can't you see that we're all busy trying to arrange all the things you brought up last time that you said we had to change? Are there any explanations for the sudden summonings? Are there hidden revelations that the awkward silence brings? If there are not, I propose that we this gathering derail, and for God's sake, please just put this in an email. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Stick your headphones back on again. Seamless there.
Tom, I've got one question. We didn't talk about this prior because it seems that we've got a work sucks theme going on.
Now, the funny thing about this is I posted a video of this the other day, and the principal of my college then shared it on Twitter. And so I was wondering whether he was just very proud and being supportive, or whether it was a kind of a subtle nod to say that he'd seen it.
Wow. I find, so I got outed my first year of grad school was when one of the Broadsides album Aim to Misbehave came out.
Yeah.
And there was a full write-up of it in the Oregonian, our local newspaper. And I hadn't really told anybody at the university that I had this nerd band thing. And one of the professors, still reads old school newspapers, I guess. And so he took a picture of it and he sent it to the whole department. And went, well, apparently we have a budding singer in our midst. And rather than be embarrassed, I was like, yeah, buy my album. It's on iTunes. Like, all you can do is own it at that point.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, is that, the song that went viral has very much got a work thing to it as well. But I try and not make it specifically about that and much more general. But yeah, definitely when that all went crazy, I was kind of sitting there a little bit at work in work meetings, but they were all very proud and supportive of it. And I don't think I've been particularly harsh to anybody specifically. Well, I think it's something that even they can kind of, they can appreciate as well.
What was that like for you when things went nuts with I've got no more F's to give?
It was quite surreal because it's the kind of thing that you hope's going to happen as a songwriter. But you don't really imagine it ever will. And then it just kind of all happened overnight. My partner is a social media marketing person, and she gives me lots of good advice on the kind of thing. When I put that video up originally, I got about 2,000 views on it, and I got quite excited because it was far more than I'd had on any of the other videos at all. And I was about to put another video up, and she said, "No, just hold on for a little bit longer." And then suddenly it went crazy. But it's been great. It's been really good.
That's great. No, it seems like things are working for you, Mr. Esquire. Mr. Esquire, like, is that a thing?
You can call me Mr. Wilde.
I have a PhD. I will tell you what.
I don't. I'm not. I've always wanted to get a PhD so I can be Dr. Wilde.
No, I'm just saying,
Dr.
like,
Wilde's a party animal.
I swear I'm smart in some things. Apparently, proper address of folks wasn't what they, not on the menu. Thank you so much, and I'm excited to hear what you do for your second song. But we've got one more singer who hasn't gotten to go yet, Miss Alyssa. Ms. Alyssa.
Yes, I should unmute myself.
Yeah, you should. I love your fabulous wig today.
Thank you.
You have the best selection of wigs. Are you indulging more in mad wiggery right now because you recently shaved your head?
I am. Yes, actually, the wig that I'm wearing right now, I had purchased years ago because I don't know if any of you are aware that I used to vend at most of these cons as the Dice Witch. So I did dice blessings and fantasy accessories, and so this was part of my Dice Witch costume. But then when I knew that I was going to be shaving my head for St. Baldrick's, I sort of prepared and knit myself a couple of hats and bought a couple of fun wigs because some days it's great to be bald, and some days, you know, you just want something different. So.
Yeah, no, it looks fabulous, and you did. Every time I see you in a wig, I remember that you did such a lovely thing for St. Baldrick's and raised money for charity to shave your head.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have a song for us.
I do.
Is it about shaving your head?
It is not.
Okay.
I haven't written that song yet. Maybe later.
Alyssa, take it away.
No, this is by request, including yours. So I write a lot of songs about board games, and most of them tend to be super niche games that not a ton of people have played in the relative scheme of things. But this is the one song that I think the majority of people will identify with a little bit because it's about Settlers of Catan. And the meme that has gone around in oh so many ways is the "I've got wood for sheep" meme. And I wanted to turn that around a little bit. So this song is called Sheep for Wood. I started out with a plan to build a monopoly. I've got the best numbers, they're sure to be rolled, and soon I'll have all I need. I left very little to luck. I prefer to rely on strategy. 2 roads away and a settlement, and the sheep port's all for me. But I've been double-crossed, hung out to dry, stolen my sheep, although you have no sheep, I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wheat, I've got sheep for anything, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for stone, I'd even take that brick from you, I've got sheep for wood. I don't understand. Was it just for spite? Now you're in just as much of a bind as I. We're both out of luck. Can't turn back time. You're the proud owner of an empty port. I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I've got sheep for wood. I'm a third of the way to a development card. That's a long, long way from winning. I just can't find a good way out. I've got sheep for wood. I'll trade you 2 for 1. All right, 5 for 3. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood.
Yay! I love that song. I love when you do it. And it was, so the Broadsides were on tour of the East Coast. Last year we'd met at Dragon Con, and you and Sarah Donner and us, we got to play together when we were in Brooklyn. And there was the accidental, like, all 3 of us played songs about Settlers of Catan in the same
In Game of Thrones.
The Settlers of Catan set, and we all had songs about, was it alligators? Or octopus? Octopuses.
Octopus, yeah.
Yeah, we all have octopus songs too. So
Not random at all.
have you run into the sheep conundrum yourself playing Catan?
I have. I mean, I think that's the typical, like, you have this great plan at the beginning. You're like, yeah, I'm going to put one settlement here, and it's really close to one thing I need, and one over here. And it never, ever goes to plan.
No.
The dice do not like you in Settlers of Catan.
And it's always sheep. I do like the part in the song where you you say, I'll do 2 for 1. I'm 5 for 3. Like that's a better offer. Like, I got your math. I got you.
Anything. It's desperation.
Thank you for doing one of my favorite songs of yours. Like, it's so good to hear it. It's like wrapping myself in a warm, comfy blanket, hearing some of the favorite folk songs here today shared on the show. So we are at the half point of today's AnthSOLogy already. I know it's hard to believe. If you have questions for our fabulous performers, please ask them in the chat box, and we will make sure that they answer everything you have to ask them, including credit card numbers and social security numbers. Do they have social security numbers in the UK?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. We've got national insurance numbers.
Great.
But that doesn't get you very much.
No. All right. So maybe not a social security number from Tom, but he'll have to tell you something terrible, I am sure. We would like to thank our subscribers and tippers so far in this show. Thank you to Handmade Disaster, James Mahaffey, and Mike Whitaker for subscribing. Shirley France, and Sunny Larson, and Dale Smith, and Matricula. Thank you so much for your tips and making it possible for these performers to go out and buy new strings and maybe some chocolate. It's been a rough time, and we could all use a little bit more chocolate in our lives right now. Trust.
I think after today, I'm buying a new house.
Oh no! So what happened?
Oh no! The trampoline actually wound up popping the door open on the minivan that's sitting out front. So it is now I've got a swimming pool in the back.
Oh no!
Yeah. I was actually very surprised. I was fully expecting the motorcycles to blow over. I had just moved them outside, put myself in full summer mode. So, yeah.
So you say you're buying a new house. Is it because you're running from Tornado Alley?
I honestly, this was the first time. I mean, we've been hit a few times with these kinds of warnings. This was one of the few times I actually thought we were going to get it.
Wow. I lived in the upper Midwest for a while in North Dakota. Tornadoes are serious business. When they tell you to get down, you get down. It's what you do.
Every siren went off except the one directly for our neighborhood.
Oh my God. Well, please stay safe, and if you have to run and batten down.
Well, we've got sunshine now. It's all fine. You never would have known it happened, you know. The larks are in the air. The children are playing in the street.
Giving each other COVID. It's fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joy! Joyous celebrations. Teresa Kinter Gunderson, I think maybe that is someone that Gundo knows, says, ask Gundo why there's a trampoline in my van. I don't know what that means.
She gives me a hard time because it's her van by designation, even though the reason that we've got a minivan is to haul gear for the band. But she's grumbling at me because I made the mistake of calling it my van or our van as opposed to her van.
Look, folks, music is therapy, but this is not therapy. So figure it out offline.
It will be her van as soon as I get donuts.
And thank you very much to Stevani and Mike Whitaker, who during that glorious segment where Gundo was getting red on the internet, became new tippers. Thank you so much. And you can also see tippers running across the top of the screen. It's a little thank you from us to you. All right, second half. There are more songs to go. So, Thomas Benjamin Wilde, Esquire, you were the last one to play. You weren't the last one to play. I'm sorry, Alyssa was the last one to play. Look.
Done so soon.
No, stop it.
I'm kidding.
Again, not therapy. Alyssa, you got to play last. Who would you like to hear from next?
I'm gonna toss it back to Esquire.
Marvelous.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you got.
Okay. So this next one has been described by some as my lockdown anthem. Okay. I released my album on the 20th of March, which was just before we went into lockdown over here in the UK. And it's called, the album's called A Quiet Night In, which seemed rather apt. This one I released a little while ago. It's basically about what I like doing on a Friday night. So I'm just going to swap my headphones because I need it for the backing track. There we go. Seamless again, as always. Now I'm going to try and put that cable behind me because otherwise it gets in the way. Okay, no, I'm not. That's going around my neck now. Let's just try and hold on a second. That's going to be better.
Jess, this is almost as good a show as him playing.
And I can't hear what anybody's saying because I've got a different pair of headphones on now. So this is a song called Pants Drunk. Bear in mind that in the UK, pants mean your underwear, not your trousers. It's Friday night. I'm all alone. My significant other has gone off out with her friends, so I'm sitting on my own, but I don't mind. I won't protest, because it's times like these when I can indulge in what I like doing best. Don't need no one because I'm getting pants drunk. An evening in I love to spend it pants drunk. Stripped down to my underwear, sitting back in my armchair, feeling all devil-may-care with an evening's worth of time to spare. Please don't try to knock, I'm getting pants drunk. You could be in for quite a shock, I'm getting pants drunk. No need for dressing to impress, just sitting back in my own mess. I'm content on my own, just getting pants drunk. Curry for one, maybe Chinese. Or perhaps I'll order both, as tonight I'll do just as I damn well please. How about that Netflix documentary about Colombian drug cartels or the fall of Nazi Germany? Don't need no because I'm getting pants drunk. I'm content to lie about just getting pants drunk. I'll open up another drink, fart and revel in the stink, just sitting on my own here getting pants drunk. Please do not disturb, I'm getting pants drunk. There's nothing more superb than getting pants drunk. Look up history on Wikipedia, be deliberately contrary on social media, troll and cause an online fight, then watch it carry on all night. Don't feel bad for me, I'm getting pants drunk. You probably don't want to see me getting pants drunk. Roaming around the house all wild and free, disregarding all sense of dignity. Nights at home were made for getting pants drunk. The World Wide Web at my fingertips, a source of endless fascination with my lager cotton chips, but not forgetting the incognito setting. A gentleman never subjects a lady to a search history she may find upsetting. There's nothing I love more than getting pants drunk. Friday nights were made for getting pants drunk. Never do I feel more grand than when I'm scratching my balls and sniffing my hand and sitting on my own here getting pants drunk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this at home, I would like you to do me a favour, if you will. Please repeat after me. Pants drunk. Pants drunk. Pants drunk. Pants drunk. Don't need no one because I'm getting pants drunk. An evening in I love to spend it pants drunk. Stripped down to my underwear, sitting back in my armchair, feeling all devil may care with an evening's worth of time to spare. Please don't try to knock, I'm getting pants drunk. You could be in for quite a shock, I'm getting pants drunk. No need for dressing to impress, just sitting back in my own mess. I'm content on my own, just getting pants drunk. No one to judge my choice of tunes. No longer in my headphones, banished up to the spare room. The bathroom door can't stay open wide. The dog doesn't complain about the noises from inside. There's something to be said for getting pants drunk. Why not stay at home instead and just get pants drunk? Nobody to tell you how to spend your time. You can do it your way and I'll do it mine. Nights at home are made for getting pants drunk. Thank you very much. I'm just going to put the other headphones back on. Oh.
I was going to switch it back to grid view, but I think this is part of the show. Just there we go.
completely smooth and seamless there.
Thank you for not strangling yourself with your headphones cord going
I was
back and
thinking
forth.
of wearing a straw boater as well.
I was going to say, can we get a tap dance while you're doing that?
I have been kind of in the habit of wearing a straw boater because it's the summer, or nearly the summer, and that kind of headwear is just appropriate, I would say. But I decided against it this evening with all the having to swap over of headphones. That would have made it 10 times more awkward.
Yeah, I don't know that you can attach one of those to the headphones. You'll figure it out.
Well, that's something to look at, I think. I think we could be onto something there.
Trademark.
Let's market them.
Yeah! I'm sure that they'll sell like hotcakes. I could sense a big market for people who need headphones with straw boaters attached to them, for summer. For reasons. Tom, how often would you estimate that you have gotten pants drunk in the last 2 months?
In the last 2 months? Well, the thing is that we've been doing a lot of dressing up and drinking while we've been at home. Basically, what we've been trying to do is keep weekends and weekdays separate because we're working from home. So we tend to have dress-up weekends. So the last few weeks, we've done Star Wars, we've done Jurassic Park, and then last week we did Agatha Christie, and we sat and watched Poirot films. And this weekend, it's the great outdoors, so we're going to build a tent in the living room and camp out and toast marshmallows in our front room while watching films. So I've not been doing a lot of pants drinking over the last few weeks, because if I start, I don't think I'll stop. I will just continue getting pants drunk for the entirety of lockdown, and that is not a good thing, I would say.
I think the dress up parties sound absolutely adorable, and if you do a Zoom chat, everybody watching movies and drinking together, you invite us, because that sounds great. Though I am concerned when you said you were toasting marshmallows in your front room.
We've got an indoor kit. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. We've got a kind of little candle thing that's designed for indoor use, so it will be fine. We're not building a campfire, although my partner has created a felt campfire for it.
Oh my goodness.
we think in Instagram, you see. We think in Instagram. And that's
so
how our
cute.
minds work.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was about to say, like, I thought your neighbors would not like you very much for making noise, but it seems like they might not like you because you are the kind of person who builds fires in your living room. But good explanation.
Yeah.
Tiny fires. Tiny fires. If you were at home getting pants drunk with us, I mean, we understand. 'Tis the season for pants drunk. Get it out of your system while you can.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's actually a Finnish or kind of Scandinavian concept, and I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the word for it, but there is actually a specific word.
As a Scandinavian, we call it waking up.
If somebody offers you a shot of aquavit and you're wearing your underpants, welcome to Scandinavia.
Yeah, I think so. Generally, it's kind of a Friday night where my partner goes out with her friends, and I'm left in by myself.
It's a good time to do that. Pants drunk and a can of whatever it is that is closest to open, and just eat some beans. It's great.
Yeah.
So, you were chosen by Alyssa. Who would you like to perform next? We've got 2 more songs left in us during AnthSOLogy today.
I think we should jump back to Gundo.
Gundo.
Yeah,
before the trampoline takes that van any further down the driveway. I imagine it like starting to tip up like the mainsail of a
I'm
ship.
envisaging him throwing his guitar down and running outside at some point. or for something to come through the window.
It was close to it. It really was. I mean, I couldn't actually, at the worst of it, I couldn't even see the van because of the rain.
Oh my Lord.
God. We don't get weather like that over here. It's been a bit windy.
Yeah, no, it was
here in the UK. A bit blustery. The fence has been rattling a little bit in the back garden, which got a bit annoying, but that's about as far as it goes.
No, our neighbor actually lost his fence.
Oh
wow.
My goodness. Well, we know when you say a bit blustery, what you actually mean is 60 miles per hour. It's never a bit. Gundo, we are back to you while we can. Tell us a little bit about what you'll be playing.
Well, so I'm a bit of an aviation nut. I'm a skydiver. Got about 8.5, 9 hours of free fall, I think. Flown both right and left seat. And one of the things that bands that I wind up playing backup for is Tallis Kimberly when she's in North America. Quite a bit of kit that I wind up bringing to those particular gigs. And this particular, she knows I'm an aviation fanatic, and she got in touch with me one day and said she'd written this song about Down Ampney. Now, there's a bit of a bet as to whether I'll actually make it through this song, because anytime I perform it with her, I wear sunglasses to try and keep me from looking at the audience. So I'm actually going to try and sing it all the way through. Come down, oh love divine, here's where we need you. 2 hits, at least on the starboard wing. If we can stay airborne a few minutes longer, the engine's in flames and she's struggling. At 500 feet now we're drawing the fire. Down there are husbands and brothers and sons. This, after all, was the priesthood that called me. My God, if I can, I will finish this run. But I've heard larks in the morning over down at me. And I've heard larks in the morning over down Napney. Bless this Dakota who's flying her heart out. Bless Harry King and the rest of the crew. We've dropped all we can now, for God's sake, bail out, lads. We've done what we came here to do. When we lifted this morning over down Apney, when we lifted this morning over down Apney. There's a field of stones just a few miles from Arnhem. Honor the stories, remember their names. It's a village in Gloucestershire, close to the airfield, whose church has a window of colored panes, bright glass pictures of airplanes. Over down Apney, bright glass pictures of airplanes. Over down Apney, and the skies are quiet again now. Over down Apney, but the larks rise just as they used to. Over down Apney. Knew I wasn't going to make it.
Yay! Do you need a second? Like, I understand very, very much to have those songs where, whoo!
Yeah. and that's one of them, because, you know, realizing what Britain went through. And, I mean, it's funny, the companion to that song to me has always been Iron Maiden's Aces High. But it's that same, you know, we're going to go out and we're going to people who never expected to have to be doing this. You know, the line there, you know, this after all was the priesthood that called me.
Yeah.
And that he saw it as what he was doing was an act of service to God and country in a true way.
We do have a question. What is the song called? What's the full title, and where can they find it?
The song is called Over Down Ampney. It has not been recorded yet. Actually, I feel terrible about this. I've got her permission. I'm laying it down for the album that I'm recording. So that's actually going to be the first time that it'll be recorded formally is by me.
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited. You said you were working on your solo album right now. Where is that at? And can you tell us a little bit about maybe what's on it, when we can expect it?
I mean, there's a few songs. The 2 songs that I played are on it. It's going to be actually about half covers, half originals. Given the fact that I'm actually calling that one of the originals just because I'm the first one laying it down. And part of it, I like doing covers, because if you can take a cover and do it with a unique stamp, I think that's really a lot of the fun. So one of the things I'm going to try and do with it is actually a piano and violin version of Def Leppard's Hysteria that I've heard in my mind for about 25 years.
Rad.
You know, so we'll see if we make it, because again, it was supposed to be one of those things we worked on every weekend, and it's again kind of hard to get your producer in here safely.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think we're all doing the best that we can, and it's part of the joy of getting to host you and everybody on AnthSOLOgy. We need these outlets. We need these outlets to be making music, and I'm glad that all of you are still making music, even though it's a little bit harder, and that we get to hear your beautiful voices today. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful song, and for it's okay to cry a little bit. Like, music is supposed to be emotional, and that was just absolutely lovely. I can't wait to hear your recorded version.
It's really an absolutely wonderful song, and seeing pictures of the window panes, it's just this beautiful stained glass of that Dakota. And then apparently, as you go around the church, the parishioners have the kneelers, have the names and the plane of the airmen.
Oh my goodness.
So it's really just amazing thinking about that.
Thank you for so much for sharing that. And if I guess the only way that you can hear it right now is go back and listen to this episode of AnthSOLOgy again once it's up on YouTube, and get your fill now and hear the beautiful final version. Do you have an estimated date? The fall?
We were hoping for conflict.
Oh,
the goal,
okay.
the goal was conflict, but again, things have kind of come to a halt.
So
Though actually, Talus did tell me she's playing on Tuesday, so you'll get to hear her version of it on Tuesday. So,
oh great. And she's streaming when?
think 2 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, so 8 o'clock British time.
Keep an eye out for Talus Kimberly. She is amazing if you haven't heard her before. And so conflict is in January, so we'll keep an eye out next winterish and see what happens.
As long as we can all travel in January.
Yeah, that's kind of the question. So stay home now, wash your hands, take care of each other, and hopefully by January we can get a little bit closer to whatever our new normal is going to be. Hopefully that includes travel. So we have Alyssa. Alyssa, you are the one who is left. That means you get to close us out, and I'm really excited to hear what you are going to bring. What do you got for us, Alyssa?
So one of the things that I have been loving about attending FiltCons is watching people in the audiences doing their crafts as people are performing on stage, particularly knitting and crocheting I see a lot of. And I have now been able to say that I have done it myself because I brought my knitting with me to Conflict. So I felt like I needed to write a song about that. And it was also around the time that I had just learned how to knit. So this is a song that's basically a dialogue between two people. One of them is teaching how to knit, the other is learning how to knit, and you can see how the dynamic changes as they go. Knit and purl, knit and purl. It's as easy as knit and purl, just knit and purl, knit and purl. You can make anything in the world if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Knit and purl, knit and purl. It's as easy as knit and purl, just knit and purl, knit and purl. The socks, the sweaters, and the scarves unfurl if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the increase and the decrease? And what the heck is intarsia? Knit and purl, knit and purl. Pick up your needles and give it a whirl. Just knit and purl, knit and purl. Don't be such an ungrateful churl. Be quiet, now knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the I-cord and cable needles and the fair Isle Christmas reindeer? I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much. Now I've got way more yarn than I've got self-control. I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much now. It started out simple, then I went down the Ravelry hole. Purl and knit, purl and knit. reason for you to quit. Just purl and knit, purl and knit. You're acting like a real piece of. Shut up, just purl and knit.
Yay! I love that. Did you keep up with your knitting?
Oh, I did. And actually, one of the, I guess, silver linings of quarantine for me is that I've had more time for knitting. So I've had this project that I started, I want to say about 3 years ago. It's a double knit Celtic dragon scarf. It's about 5.5 feet long, and it's like fingerling yarn, so it's tiny, tiny. And I had made very, very little progress for the first 2.5 years. And now I am 20 rows out from the thing being done. So
Yay!
I'll post pictures when it's actually there.
I took up crocheting actually to have something to do with my hands during Filk circles. So it's a very common thing, like, keep us busy while we're working. There are many fans in the chat box saying that they play it in yarn stores and that they love it. So you have a crafter fan base.
Definitely one of those little niche-y songs. But that one is off the newer album, Sugar and Spice and Dinosaurs.
Yay! Speaking of newer album, Sugar and Spice and Dinosaurs came out last year?
Last October.
Yeah, it still got the shine on. If you go over to the chat box, everybody, you can type !who, and it'll give you the commands to type in everybody's names, and you can find out where you can find their albums on their site. So Alyssa has rhiannonslark.com, and you can also type in !Wilde and !Gundo to find out where you can find more of their music, including Tom's album that just came out March 20th. Oh dear. I mean, good and bad, maybe, that it came out.
It's kind of, yeah, it has been, it's been doing all right, I think. I don't know whether more people are sitting and listening to music at the moment. I basically ordered a whole load of merchandise to sell on my tour as well.
Oh.
And then the tour got cancelled. So I'm sitting around boxes of T-shirts and badges and CDs at the moment, which I'm trying to flog. So if anybody wants to buy any of that stuff, get on over to my website.
When touring and traveling can happen again, we would love to have you over on this side of the pond, and we will help you unload some of that merch.
Would be great. I would love to at some point come over to the States, but we'll have to see what happens.
Well, you're always welcome in Portland. We'd love to see you.
I'd love to come to Portland. I'd love to come to Portland.
This is actually the first time I think we've had a show where nobody is located even on the same coast as I am. So thank you for making 10 p.m. work in London, and Alyssa and Gundo with crazy weather and crazy time changes. I really appreciate that you took the time to hang out with us today and hopefully not irritate your neighbors too much.
Well,
I think they're getting used to it now.
Gundo, we are looking forward very much to your solo project, but people are getting directed to Toyboat.com, and hopefully we'll check out Talus on Tuesday.
Yeah. And Random Fractions. I think they're on I think we're on Bandcamp. I haven't maintained either one of those, but I know we've got 2 albums out that you can get, and then Toyboat's also on Spotify. So
wonderful. Alyssa, you've been doing lunchtime concerts, is that right?
I've been streaming like crazy. I'm going to be doing a show at 1:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday, and that'll be Facebook and YouTube.
Wonderful.
Easy to find.
The lunchtime shows have been lovely. Every time I turn on Facebook, there's another message. Alyssa's streaming again.
It's keeping me sane, or close.
I think it's keeping all of us sane, which is part of why I love getting to do this. This is a spot of joy in my week to get to hear such talented people and share music. So thank you so much. We'd also like to thank Mike Whitaker, Robert Beckwith, and Teresa, who all tipped during that last segment. Tips are open for these performers all week. Feel free to share this concert around so that other people can show their support for awesome independent solo music makers while we are in the duration. Let's call it the duration. Thank you all so much. I'm going to let you get back to your normal lives. I mean, they might be less fun than this, but we will be back on AnthSOLogy next week here on the PDX Broadsides YouTube channel with 3 brand new awesome performers coming at you. Next week, we have from the East Coast, you may have heard them through the Double Clicks. They have a great song called The Pronoun Song. It's Stevani Ross, who also goes by Sunday Comes Afterwards. And from a little bit of everywhere, the fabulous, infamous fiddler, Miss Amy McNally. And last but not least, from Southern California, she's got a whole bunch of projects and she's done everything and been everywhere, Miss Zoenda McIntosh. So we're going to have a great show again next week. And thank you all again so much for being here. And thank you, audience. With that, off we go. Have a great week. Stay safe and we love you. Bye.